Making small adjustments is a perfect time of the year to talk about sort of taking inventory of what's going on in our lives and seeing where we can make some changes, some adjustments to help us move forward in a more positive, more beneficial way, a more skillful way, we like to say. And so sometimes it requires us to sort of do that in-course correction. Have you noticed? So this idea of resting and relaxing and finding some soul time is pretty darn important, because after the holidays and after a busy year, I was talking to Darius before service, and he mentioned something that I know very much from my own life. 2013 seemed a little bit chaotic, did it? For everybody, for the planet. You know, it just was kind of one of those years, and so we're ready to move into something new. This 2014 has lots of possibilities for us, and it really will require us to get quiet, to get reflective, to take some soul time, to be calm with it, to see what is ready to move into being in this new year. So part of it is when we take this time to be quiet, it's an invitation to pause and to observe how things have already been showing up for us. Sometimes we are happy with that, and sometimes we're not, because things have been unskillful, or they haven't worked real well for us, or they've been painful, or there have been losses, there's some grief. So this idea to be able to pause and look at it, observe how we've been in action with our life experience, is key to us being able to reclaim our power and move forward, to keep the vision for our soul's journey alive. We've all got a unique soul's journey. Everyone's is different, and everyone's is equally important and equally valuable. Nobody's journey is less or more important, regardless of credentials, regardless of status, regardless of wealth, regardless of age. We all have unique divine assignments to live. And so in order for us to keep that vision alive, we've got to sort of focus on what's going to get us there, whatever that is. My vision is about harmony and beauty. How it's going to show up, I'm not sure. And is it always? Absolutely not. I don't have a lot of real specifics in my life. I try to be very general. How do I want my life to feel, to look? See, harmony looks a lot of different ways. It means the family's getting along. It means the planet is peaceful. It means that I am quiet from the inside out. Beauty. Common ground's an example of beauty. So we focus on what matters to us. And when we can do that, then we step into the creative potential that each moment brings to us, because that's the only place that we're going to be able to manifest our soul's journey is in the now moment. We talk about this, frequently at Common Ground in our book studies with Eckhart Tolle's work, this now moment. And in order to really tap into what's important to us, we have to realize that we're going to have to maybe let some stuff go that hasn't been working very well for us, and we're going to have to start some new things, take on some new habits. It's sort of that both and thing. We look at it all and we say, maybe not, that's not working too well, and maybe there's a possibility over there, let's go that direction. See, because it's all about these adjustments. That's what we're talking about, these small adjustments. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be huge, and sometimes it needs to be huge, because a lot of stuff is getting in the way. But the day-to-day journey requires numerous small adjustments. What it is it's bringing back to center the awareness of our divinity. Bringing back to center. Harmony is important to me. Step out of anger, Judy. Hey, harmony is important. Step out of judgment, Judy. Do you hear what I'm saying? Every moment we get to make a small adjustment, because we're all over the place. Let those old things go so that we can move into the new things. Because we all get caught up in habitual patterns, habits that don't serve us well. And so in order for us to make these adjustments, we get to choose new ways to behave. Deepak Chopra has a wonderful teaching on this idea of, we create these grooves in our brains, actual grooves in our brains, folks, neural pathways. When we practice something over and over and over again, it gets to be a rut in our brain, just like a groove in a record, the old-fashioned records. See? It gets to be a groove by repetition. So if we've got habits or thoughts or ideas or beliefs or behaviors that are not really moving us in the direction of harmony, peace, love, whatever our particular thing is that matters to us, and we keep repeating those old patterns that keep us stuck in that, whatever that thing is, and don't make adjustments that allow us to make new grooves. I mentioned, I think it was on New Year's Eve or sometime recently, about Stella getting a new groove. Remember that movie? A new groove. And what causes a new groove is small adjustments made over a long period of time. Constant adjustment. Constant adjustment. We've always got the choice to erase those old grooves, those old imprints, and create new ones. Our brains are actually plastic. They call it neuroplasticity. We're hardwired to be able to make changes. But first we've got to be able to see what it is that we need to stop doing that gets in the way. And this idea of resting and relaxing gives us an opportunity to reflect on that stuff. Maybe I ought to stop doing that. Maybe that's getting in the way, whatever that thing is, so that I can create these new neural pathways. Melt away those old grooves. Start filling them in with, you know how a pathway that's not been used for a long time starts to get covered over with the brush and the dust, and it goes away eventually. See, that's what we're talking about. And it takes time. Deepak Chopra says, change is the total activity of the universe. Change is the total activity of the universe. And we, you and I, are embedded in a design that is dynamic, free, creative, and unpredictable. I'm not sure I like that unpredictable part. But every one of us is in the flow of the universe, and things are going to change. It's dynamic. Take a look at your life. What is exactly the same in this moment as it was 10 minutes ago? Nothing. Nothing. So we're invited to embrace and engage in that dynamic moment right now, one step at a time, making those small adjustments. Do you know, in the Japanese tradition, there's the word kaizen. And what that means is that we make small adjustments, little by little, toward our perfection, toward getting better at something, little by little by little. Do you know that the Apollo rocket was only on course 2 to 3% of the time that it was headed for the moon? Do you know that? 97% of the time it was off course. And it required constant in-course correction, constant small adjustments to get where it was going. This is a metaphor for our life. We require constant in-course correction to get where we need to be, to live our dreams, to live our soul purpose. And we can't do that if we're not taking a look at what's going on. So we've got to make these small adjustments. Sometimes they're huge adjustments, but today we're talking about those small adjustments, one sweet step at a time, so that we can step into the creative potential that we're meant to live. I love what Eric Butterworth, great metaphysician, says. Every single one of us is the activity of God in expression. So let's be our best expression of God. And the way we do that is to come back in alignment with the remembering of our soul's journey. So this morning, a little bit different, I've invited Zach to join me on the platform. Come forward, Zach. Those of you who were here a couple of months ago heard me share a story about Zach. We were talking about grace, and Glenda and I had the grace. Come stand over here, Zach. You can get yourself hooked up. Glenda and I had the grace of helping Zach out. Zach is an awesome young man, and today he's celebrating 51 days of being clean and sober. Zach to come to the platform because, you know, we can talk about all these theories, all of these metaphors, and all of this stuff, but you see, it's not easy to live it and walk it. And we say no matter what you know, if you're not able to walk it in the world, it doesn't make a bit of difference. And so I wanted to invite Zach to the platform today as a living example of what it looks like to take one step at a time in the direction of your soul's journey so that you can be an expression of your God self. You know, we're all going through stuff. Relationships, money, body, habits. We're all trying to find meaning and a meaningful purpose in life. And no matter what the journey has been about, whether it's been about addiction, or it's been about alcoholism, or it's been about health, whatever it's been about, we've all been there. Is there anyone in this room that hasn't been there? Hasn't had to make adjustments? So Zach is currently renting Janie's playhouse in our backyard. Zach is living in a playhouse, and he just painted it bright green with a honey-colored trim this weekend. Never painted before, have you, Zach? No, okay. And so it's just an awesome example of what it looks like to make in-course corrections, to stick with building a new neural pathway, to fix, you know, your sight on something that matters to you. Zach has been through a lot, huh, Zach? Within the last 2 years, he's buried a sister and a brother and a mom to this addiction, alcoholism process. And you know what? I believe what Father Leo says. If Jesus were walking in the world today, he would not be just focusing on healing lepers. He would be healing those of us that are alcoholic and addicts. And so, Zach, you are a miracle. So, sing this song. Zach wrote this song.
I've never played in front of anybody before. I don't really know how to work this. So. Yeah.
There we go. Zach has a new guitar and a new life.
Alright, I've never played in front of anybody before, so I've been writing music and stuff pretty much since I was like 13. But yeah, this is my first time up here, and this song came to me when I was, over the holidays, I was went to go visit my dad and my family over in Arizona, and the fact that they actually allowed me to be there and trusted me, and just the strength and power that I felt. I mean not power like, ooh, I'm the power over everybody, but just the strength and the clarity that I had was so awesome. And so anyway, yeah, I just looked in the mirror and I just was like, this is awesome, this is me, this is the real me, this is crazy, this is so good. So anyway, so I guess this song is called Clarity, and it's the first time I've ever played in front of you, so bear with me.
Never thought that I could look you in the eyes and see things so good. Well, I never thought that I could look you in the eyes and see things so good. So you wake up and you feel like your whole life is in shambles. You feel like you can't hold on. My friend, please hold on. You're walking down that road and you see your life is crumbling and you can't hold on. Well, I never thought that I could look you in the eyes and see things so clear. Well, I never thought that I could look you in the eyes and see things so clear.
don't know if you could really hear the lyrics at of the chorus, but I never thought that I could look you in the eyes and see things so clear. You see, this is what making small adjustments looks like. Thank you, Zach. Boy, talk about the work of Brene Brown. I know that Zach had a migraine last night thinking about doing this. I know that he's had that feeling inside of fight or flight, you know, I'm out of here. And I know that it took courage and the willingness to address vulnerability to be able to stand up here in front of all of us. But awesome, awesome. So this is your invitation. Remember that we are hardwired for constant renewal. We're hardwired for in-course corrections. We're hardwired to live our best self one day at a time. And 51 days makes a big difference in a person's life. Every moment makes a big difference in a person's life. I love what Eckhart Tolle says as I close. He says, when we're really aligned and on task and on point with our life purpose, we're like an arrow moving toward a target, and we are enjoying the journey. So my invitation to you is to take time to relax, to rest, to reflect, to get in alignment and remember the truth of your being, and to enjoy the journey.